my favorite thing was when Logan was just in the back seat and he just wouldn't stop. Like, I want bubble gum. I'm like, I'm not stopping for bubble gum. He's like, I want bubble gum. Like, you are not getting bubble gum. Stop it. And he's like, Daddy, I want bubble gum. Listen, I don't negotiate with terrorists. You are not getting bubble gum. Daddy, I want bubble gum. Listen, I want world peace. And then he said, but Daddy, we can't have world peace, but we all could have bubble gum. So I stopped and got bubble gum. Hello, adventurer. Well, you know what? It is easy to get overwhelmed with technology. I mean, all the buttons, tools, the tips and the tricks, it just gets to be insane. I mean, it's really sometimes too much. We feel like we have to keep up with it. Well, you know what? I want to give you permission to not have to try to keep up with it, because it's not about you knowing every tool and every button. That just can be way too much. Social media is not about the buttons. It's about accelerating relationships. It's about amplifying relationships. You know, somebody told me that, man, I'm really bad at social media. You know what? They weren't bad at social media. In fact, they would be really great at it because they're a really good friend. They just didn't know where some of the buttons are. You see, the buttons, that's the easiest part. And the whole entire world right now is focused in on just the button. They're looking at the wrong thing. And it's about the relationship. If you go to the bookstore, it's here's the Dummy's Guide to This, which, by the way, how would they write a book on social media? No, or like in school. By the time it goes through like a curriculum committee, like it's already outdated. By the time they would print the book, it's outdated. Like, that's what's just crazy to me. So why would you go to the bookstore to buy a book on what? Everything's about the tutorials. It's focusing on the wrong thing. We're missing the power of social media. You see, the other thing that happens is we're kind of naturally scared of technology. There's this fear of technology, and there doesn't need to be. What happens sometimes is if I know maybe a few more states than you, or a few more Star Wars planets, or a lot more Star Wars planets, if I know more parts of the body, if I know more parts of a car, if I just know a few more, then pretty much we have the same knowledge. But the only place in the entire world that does this is with technology. If I know a few more buttons, then I'm called a genius and you call yourself an idiot. And it's just not true. Sometimes we go through and say, well, like my kids, like they get it, but I'm older. And you know what? That's to your advantage. You see, you think if you're a little bit older that you're at a disadvantage, when in social media, you're actually at the advantage. If you think it's about they know more buttons, well, you know what? Here's a little secret. They hardly know many more buttons than you. They don't know what that button over there in the corner is. They hardly know much more than you. You just admit it, and they keep it quiet. You see, you're actually at the advantage because you have more years of relationship. You have more experience. And I know that all of this can be overwhelming. And when it gets overwhelming, we sometimes think, oh, okay, well, I need to organize more. I need to power, I need to control. You know what? It's not about that. You actually need to free yourself. You need to give yourself permission to make some mistakes and try some things. You know what you need to do? You need to play again. The best way to learn, when you look at little kids, they learn and they're so creative. And then sometimes we put them in school and we say, stop playing. It's time to learn. That's not how we were built. We were built to explore and be curious and to play. And I give you permission to mess up something. So don't try to control, don't try to organize. You actually need to free yourself. You see, what we want to do is we think, oh, we got to manage it. We don't need to manage it. We need to mentor it. Initially, technology, initially the web, it was about information. And so you had what? You had Infernet. What's an Infernet?
I just plugged in the Infernet.
Infernet. Where was I? So information is amazing, and we have all this information, and now we need managers, and we need IT, and we need processes and flowcharts. But see, something beautiful happened. It became too much information. And so we needed now relationships. You see, you don't need more information. You need more friends on your adventure. And so what we need to do is not focus in on managing and monitoring technology. We need to mentor and we need to curate those relationships. You see, everything in life is either inspired by what we do or in spite of what we do. See, I think we should be about inspiring people to just live their dreams, to hope for something better in this world, to not live mediocre lives. You see, people say things like, it's lonely at the top. We know it's only lonely at the top if we don't bring anybody with us. So here's what I want you to do. Things get so busy, so chaotic, it's easy to lose our focus. So I want you to pick 3 people. You don't have to do it publicly, but I want you to use social media. And it can be a private message, or it can be public, and you can tag them in that. But I want you to pick 3 people, and I want you to be thoughtful and intentional, make it a priority, and I want you to tell them how they've impacted your adventure, or just how you're really excited that our best days are ahead and that you can't wait to share the adventures with them. You see, don't be too busy to stop and bring people with your adventure, because it begins right now.